Okay, so what I've shown you before is a nice, like, rosy way of looking at things, but sometimes things don't always work out quite as smoothly as we'd like. So, what I've done here is I added this function here called divide. Um, if you don't know how to write a function like that, I'd recommend looking at a previous video. But in this video, I've written the divide function and I'm ready to push that up to GitHub. So I published my branch and now I'm going to create a pull request. Down here, it says I cannot automatically merge. It says, don't worry, you can still create the pull request. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit create pull request. And now I am here and it says you can't automatically merge. Don't worry, you can still create the pull request. So I'm going to go ahead and create this pull request. And it says the branch has conflicts that must be resolved. Use the web editor or command line to resolve the conflicts before moving on. In other words, my code contradicts code that is in the main branch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this resolve conflicts. This happened because another account created this function called divide. So we edited the same lines of code, and now GitHub doesn't know which one is correct. So I've got my line here, and their lines are here. So this is my change, this is their change. I'm going to move my picture a little bit so we can see the rest of this. So to handle this, all you do is you compare the lines of code. So everything between the equal sign and the arrows is what's on the main copy of our code. Everything between the equal sign and the other arrows is the copy that we're bringing in. So the question is, do we want to keep our code or the other code? If you want to keep both, then you totally can. So you could have two divide functions. Well, you probably don't want two divide functions, but you could keep both lines of code. So maybe this isn't actually a conflict and you want both lines of code. If you do that, you'll accept both changes. In this case, because these are written using Lambda syntax, I want to keep the incoming change because that's written with Lambda syntax. So I'm going to click accept incoming change. Whoops. I'm going to hit Control Z. I'm going to accept the current change. It's marked right next to it which one is which. So I'm going to accept the current change, and that will get my correct function. And then I will mark this as resolved. And then because I'm resolving conflicts and I've changed something about my code, I now have to make a new commit. So I'm going to click this commit merge. And once it's done, I have now removed any conflicts between my copy of code and the main copy of code. Now I can merge this pull request. So we'll merge the pull request. And now if we look at the live code, here in multiply.js, we have multiply, add, and divide. So even though my code conflicted with code that was already there, um, we were able to just go into the resolve editor and find the code that we wanted to keep and the code that we didn't want to keep, and we were able to merge them together. And that is how you deal with a conflict in GitHub. It's not normally that clean. Normally it takes a lot of work. You probably have to talk to a lot of other people if you're working with other people to figure out why your code is conflicting and which code should be kept. But the process for resolving it can be done in the GitHub online editor.